Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate takes place this weekend in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 43, Vieira versus Tate, and oh my goodness, this is going to be absolute carnage. These are the moments I live for as a combat sports fan. I'm so glad that I am in this era to even witness this matchup. Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate. I mean, I'm going to be telling my great-grandkids about this moment. I was there, I was watching it live. These two absolute Goliaths throwing down in the main event of a fight night for one of the biggest promotions in the world, the UFC. Of course, they would have an amazing main event like this. I just simply can't contain my excitement that runs through my veins while I watch a Miesha Tate fight. There's just nothing quite like a Miesha Tate fight build-up, and I need to get this across to you guys. You can just feel the adrenaline pump into your fucking muscles all around your body. Your blood just pumps into every muscle you have, and it also pumps into some other stuff as well if you're really watching closely when Miesha Tate fights. But either way, this is going to be guaranteed chaos. This is going to be anarchy. This is going to be absolutely mental, and I can't wait to witness it live. I just hope I can maybe like not wake up my parents in the middle of the night, because I know this is going to be at like 5 AM UK time. So honestly, I'm terrified I might get evicted from this house from the amount of sheer noise that I'll be making from pure excitement that runs through my veins like a venom. I mean, this is actually mental. We're actually going to witness this weekend. I can't think of a more deserved... Let's cut the fucking shit, though. I can't fucking believe this is a main event. If I was like Adrian Yanez, can you imagine? I'm going to give a prediction on this fight in a second now the fucking sarcasm's over. But... can you imagine being like Adrian Yanez and you're on this fight card and you're thinking to yourself, oh my god, this is actually a pretty good fight card that I'm in right now. I can't wait for this. I wonder who the main event is going to be. Is it going to be Khamzat Chimaev versus someone? Am I going to get like a big main event? Maybe they'll reschedule Holloway versus Rodriguez on this card. But no, they reschedule Holloway versus Rodriguez the card before. So what possibly could be my main event? Adrian Yanez is sitting on this card thinking, you know what? I could be the next big star of the UFC. Sean Brady, undefeated, 14-0, is thinking to himself, if I'm the co-main event, who's going to be the main event? I'm loving this. I'm going to be a big name. I can't wait until everyone tunes in. Imagine seeing that Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate has been made the main event of your fucking card. It's basically like... no one's watching this, dude. It doesn't matter how good the card is sometimes. If you don't have a good main event that's going to bring people to the fucking screens, Holloway Rodriguez is a perfect example. The rest of the card was not that stacked, but because there was Holloway versus Rodriguez, a lot more people just happened to tune in anyway because they want to be there for the main event. I can see people tuning out after the co-main, but I'm joking, of course. This is going to be an absolute showdown between two beasts. I can already see it playing out already, like the absolute, like... this will be like Zeus and Poseidon going at it, or Zeus and Hades himself going at it in the old fucking mythological times. I can only imagine the battlefield right now in the middle of that cage, and I wish I was there live to witness it. I'm talking about feints from the outside, feints from the outside, feints from the outside. Maybe even some fucking feints from the outside. Like, I'm talking all of the fucking recipe and ingredients that can make an amazing fight in the cage. I'm talking, again, as I said, feints from the outside, over-unders against the cage, failed takedown attempts, sometimes a jab that lands once a minute. Like, we're talking about real chaos, okay? Real chaos. I just watched Carlin Williams last weekend, or a couple of days ago, Chaos Williams. Honestly, Miesha Tate should change her name to Chaos Tate. Ketlen Vieira, Chaos Vieira. Like, there's actually no containing these two women when they're in the cage, and I am actually going to go with Miesha Tate here. I just don't think Ketlen Vieira really hustles that much in certain fights, and I think that really speaks to her cardio a lot of the time. If I'm actually going to give some technical advice on who I believe is going to win here, I'm going to go Miesha Tate. I'm burping through this. I just don't really care about this fucking video, to be honest, but I'm making it anyway. Because I need some content, and usually I do a main event breakdown, and it's actually worth it for my channel, so hopefully this one does do quite well. But, yeah, she beat Marion Renault last time, and Marion Renault, of course, is the absolute phenom veteran of the UFC, who at the time of fighting Miesha Tate was 9-7. That's not a joke. She was 9-7 in the top 10 of the women's bantamweight division. My God, how does Nunes do it? But either way, Miesha Tate, She's a former champion. She's been in there with the big girls or the big dogs of the division, like Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes herself. Got destroyed by Amanda Nunes, but she's beaten Holly Holm, Jessica Rye, Sarah McMahon, Liz Carmouche. I mean, these are some decent names in that division to have some good wins over. She started to lose it a little bit after the Nunes loss, came back afterwards for another fight and then just called it quits, but she's taken 5 years off away from the octagon, doing nothing to train whatsoever, and she's still good enough to come back and beat ranked contenders in the bantamweight division. This is a different kind of animal. It can't possibly be that women's MMA is complete fucking dog shit, and none of them actually hard spar, which they don't, by the way. None of them hard spar whatsoever. It must be that Miesha Tate is such a phenom athlete that she can take 5 years away from the fucking game, come back and just annihilate competition. I mean, this is going to be absolutely bonkers. I can't wait for this matchup. I'm going with Miesha Tate. I think she's more composed in the championship rounds. She's got more of a hustling mentality. We saw that in the Marion Renault fight. The first round was close. Miesha Tate won it quite clearly. The second round was more in favour of Miesha Tate. She ended up on top, landing big shots there. The third round was all Miesha Tate. She eventually got a TKO in the third round to ground and pound. I can see a similar thing happening here, but I do believe it will happen in maybe the fourth or fifth round by TKO for Miesha Tate. I just think Ketlen Vieira, throughout her entire career, has had the same problem over and over and over again. She doesn't hustle for fights whatsoever. We saw that against Yana Kunitskaya. If she's not already winning at the start of the fight and she can just keep her lead on someone, she, like, really doesn't care to do anything. It's sort of like Makwana Mirkane. She'll have a good first round, but then the second and third, it'll just be like, well, I'm on top, so I'm winning, right? I don't have to throw punches at all. I don't see that happening against Miesha Tate. I think Miesha Tate's going to out-hustle her, out-grind her, land some good shots of total strikes in half guard. I mean, this is going to be chaos, as I've said before many times this video. Yeah, Yana Kunitskaya was just out there punching at Ketlen Vieira. She threw 35 total strikes in a 15-minute matchup, and she had the back. She had 8 minutes and a half of control time, and she did basically nothing with it whatsoever. No submission attempts that were anywhere close, and she just refused to strike her opponent, so Yana Kunitskaya won it by just simply out-hustling her. We saw this against Ciara Eubanks as well, even in a fight that she won. She did good in the first 2 rounds. She won the first 2 rounds, striking on the feet. Ciara Eubanks, again, is not a good fighter. What's her record, in this amazing division that makes Amanda Nunes the GOAT overall, regardless of gender? What's her record? Oh yeah, 8-6. Okay, cool. And I think that's a lie. I think she's actually 7-6, but they've lied to make it seem better. I think they've included an Ultimate Fighter fight there. But either way, Ketlen Vieira, again, got out-hustled in the third round against Ciara Eubanks, didn't win that third round, wasn't really able to control Ciara Eubanks on the ground in that fight with her grappling whatsoever. We see other fights of Ketlen Vieira. Of course, she got KO'd in the first round against Irene Aldana, and that was a fun scrap while it lasted, but again, she's a little bit... There's a question there. Once you start getting KO'd badly in the women's divisions and going out like that, there's always a bit of a question about your chin. You shouldn't be getting KO'd in these low of a division, but either way, sometimes Nunes hits you. But Irene Aldana does have power. She just finished Yana Kunitskaya, but to watch Ketlen Vieira go limp in a women's division, it's not a good sign for her chin, let's just say. She also beat Kat Zingano by split decision, but arguably it could have gone to Kat Zingano, but they gave it to Ketlen Vieira. Arguably, Kat Zingano could have won that fight, but Vieira had so much control time, and it just looked like she was winning the fight, and back then the scoring system wasn't as much skewed towards damage, and it was sort of more to do with control time and stuff like that. But even in the third round of that fight, Kat Zingano was beating the shit out of Ketlen Vieira. Ketlen Vieira wins the first 2 rounds very, very minorly. Then in the third round, Kat Zingano's walking her down, beating her up. Ketlen Vieira looks gassed out. She doesn't really have anything, can't really do anything in the third round. She ends up on top, but she doesn't really hustle for it, doesn't work too hard from that position whatsoever, and I think that's going to be her downfall. She was losing to Sarah McMahon in the first round and the start of the second round before completely reversing it out of nowhere and getting that arm triangle. I just like the idea of Miesha Tate winning this one, and I think she's going to win it quite convincingly as well. So, yeah, I'm going with Miesha Tate. I think she's got the hustle. She's got good cardio. She's got a championship mindset. She's been 5 rounds. She's come back in, I believe, the 5th round against Holly Holm and got a rear naked choke in a championship fight that she was losing beforehand. She knows how to turn things around. She's patient out there. She's composed. She can follow a game plan. She can get into half guard and total strike her way to victory, which seems to be the golden method of victory in women's MMA nowadays. But even against her earlier career opponents, Ketlen Vieira versus Kelly Fashholz. She just didn't work. She got the takedowns. She had the control time of 8 minutes 24 to her opponent's 45 seconds. She had 4 takedowns out of 6, but she just doesn't work from those positions. And Kelly Fashholz, even whilst being on her back for half the fucking fight, was able to outwork Ketlen Vieira, double her on total strikes, over double her in significant strikes, and Vieira just refuses to work. If she's not winning, and her opponent isn't just letting her win, she doesn't hustle. And I think that's where the difference is going to be. If Tate's on bottom, she's going to be landing punches. So in terms of how I see the entire fight playing out, I think the first round, they're going to both be hesitant on the feet. I think it's going to be a very close first round. I could even see Ketlen Vieira minorly outstriking Miesha Tate, but Miesha Tate chopping more to the legs, going to the body a bit more. Ketlen Vieira landing a lot of headshots and stuff like that, where Tate's investing a little bit more. Tate pushing her up against the cage. Vieira dealing with it quite well, defending the takedowns. But Tate's going to be using foot stomps and knees to the thigh and a couple of body shots and stuff like that. But Vieira might win the first round on significant strikes at range. Second round comes around. It's a lot closer, but this time Miesha Tate's starting to get a little bit better, working herself on the feet. You can see that Ketlen Vieira is starting to feel the leg kicks maybe, starting to slow down a little bit towards the end of the second round. Maybe after having a good first 2 minutes, she starts to lose the last 3 minutes, starts to give up positions against the cage, gets taken down to where she's on one knee against the cage, and Miesha Tate's trying to take her back, but she's kneeing the thigh, punching the head a couple of times. Second round goes to Miesha Tate because of the last 3 minutes, where Vieira's starting to slow down. Third round, they're both going to be even on the feet again. This time, Miesha Tate does get her takedown, ends up on half guard on top, landing big shots. Vieira can't really do anything. She might scramble for a moment and end up on top for a second, but just not really work from there. And Miesha Tate's punching off of her back, gets back to her feet, and they stay on range, at range on the feet for the last part of the third round. Then round 4, I see Miesha Tate going out there again, landing more shots, couple more leg kicks, couple more body shots in the first 2 minutes. Vieira's starting to really slow down. She gets taken down at about 2 minute mark of the fourth round. Miesha Tate's on top in half guard, landing big shots. This time she takes mount with about 2 minutes left. More big shots on Vieira, a couple of big elbows that cut open Vieira or something like that. Vieira turns her back, gets flattened out on the back mount. Big shots from Miesha Tate, either side of behind the ear, and out goes Ketlen Vieira at the end of the fourth round. I believe it's going to be a Miesha Tate TKO. I just trust her to win this one. She's a good athlete for the division, though. Even if you don't like the skill level of women's MMA in general, there's other things you can look for that you can kind of... Like, Shevchenko has abs. No one else at women's flyweight has abs. Like, you can kind of see that she's going to be better than them, just by, like, the sheer athleticism of her. Rose Namajunas is a big girl. She's tall, she's rangy, she's long, she's got power. She's got a decent chin as well. Like, you can just see, like, Weili Zhang, she's built different to the other women's strawweights. No doubt she's one of the top ones. I believe that Miesha Tate is an athlete, and I think she's going to win because of it. I think she's going to push the cardio in the later rounds, where Ketlen Vieira consistently slows down in almost every single fight that she has. And yeah, I just don't like where Ketlen Vieira's at right now in her career. I don't like what I've seen in her recent fights. But, you know, she's good. I like Ketlen Vieira. She's a good fighter. She's actually got some decent technique, some decent stand-up, but it just seems to be a lack of hustle, a lack of drive, a lack of want and desire. And I think Miesha Tate knows if she wins this one, she's looking at one fight away from a title shot. So yeah, division's wide open right now, and honestly, even though the first fight between Nunes and Tate was completely dominant for Nunes, they would rather a fucking Nunes-Tate fight over a fucking random other girl in that division. So I think if she wins this one, she could be looking at a matchup with maybe Irene Aldana for a title shot in the bantamweight division of women's divisions, bantamweight. Irene Aldana's coming off a first round KO against Yana Kunitskaya. This is a decent matchup, but it should not fucking be a main event of a fight night, let's be real. What else do I fucking say here? Like, it doesn't deserve to be a main event of a fight night. It ruins the card. It ruins the card. And to give us this fucking shit again, give us this last weekend. Give us this card last weekend. Let us have Holloway Rodriguez this weekend, so we can have the 2 weeks off after Holloway versus Rodriguez. Don't fucking leave us with a last impression of fucking Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate and then have 2 weeks off until the next card. No! That is disgraceful customer service, and I won't stand for it. I'll call a manager. I will call a manager. It is ma'am! I'll go full out. I'll pretend everything. I'll get this place sued. They should not be treating customers like this. This is not good customer service, and I won't stand for it. Okay, we got 2 weeks off after this, and we've been left with shit. It's a good card, though. It's a good card. Chiesa Brady, I'll do a breakdown for that most likely. Davy Grant, Adrian Yanez, great matchup. But again, you're these fighters on the card and you're thinking, ooh, what are we going to get? You know, is Leon Edwards Masvidal going to be the main event? Are they going to... Oh, no, that's on the pay-per-view. Oh, what about Holloway Rodriguez? Oh, well, never mind. I just don't like the fact that we've been, like, fucking force-fed this shit. I thought we dodged a bullet when Tate got fucking COVID. You know what I mean? I thought we dodged a fucking bullet there, but no. She's back in a main event. I thought, like, seriously, oh, well, she was a main event last time when they first scheduled this fight to happen, but that was just because they had no one else, right? That's just because they had no one else to be a main event. Surely they won't reschedule it as a main event. Oosh! They fucking shit in our face. Like, I mean, I can see why fucking True Geordie loves the UFC so much. They just fucking shit in our face and just fucking give us this fucking shithole as a main event. It's so annoying. But we have to watch it. So, yeah. I get it, though. I get it. But come on. Prelims of a pay-per-view? You can do other stuff. Main event should be, like, top 5 at least. Where's Arnold Allen versus the Korean Zombie, you know? How many main events could I make off the fucking bat right now in these divisions? You could do fucking Askarov Pantoja 2. I wouldn't even fucking mind it. They're 2 and 3 in the division. I really would not mind that as a main event. Sandhagen versus... I know these guys have now just recently pulled out of fights or had fights and been damaged, but like you got Sandhagen versus Vieira, Sandhagen versus Marab. That could be a main event. Like Ortega Yair is soon to be a main event. The Korean Zombie versus Arnold Allen would be a great main event. You know, there's just so many fun ones. Dariush Makhachev. I know these ones don't work out time-wise, but like there's... I don't understand how they can't pull it off. You should never have to look outside of the top 5 for a fight night main event. It should be guaranteed. In fact, I believe that all main events should arguably be title elimination bouts, and that's why I don't agree with overstacking these fucking pay-per-view cards with top 3 opponents. Like, Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson shouldn't be on January's pay-per-view. It should be a main event of a fight night. I want fucking title contenders to go 5 rounds before they fight for the belt. Is that so much to fucking ask for? Either way. We'll see if Tate can win. See you later, goodbye. Click that button up there. 4th round TKO to ground and pound from Tate. Toodle pip.